Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today, Jen Pearl from the Schiller Institute course will be stopping by with some information about an upcoming concert here in Quincy next month. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, some hazy sunshine at 72 degrees right now. The clouds will increase throughout the day today. Kind of humid too, with temperatures in the mid-70s this afternoon. Cloudy tonight. There might be a shower late tonight. Lows drop off into the upper 50s. And of course, it's the weekend, so we start with some rain. At least tomorrow morning, some scattered showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder. Should be some clearing later tomorrow with the high approaching 70 degrees. Much nicer as we welcome June on Sunday with a mix of sun and clouds. High Sunday into the mid-60s. And of course, Monday will be beautiful with lots of sunshine, low humidity, and mild temperatures in the low 70s. Again, we have some hazy sunshine, 72 in Quincy right now. Checking out the news for you today, 15 Quincy residents are suing the city, trying to stop the planned statues of Saints Michael and St. Florian from being installed on the new public safety complex. That lawsuit, filed in Norfolk Superior Court this week, claims that the use of public funds for religious symbols violates the state constitution. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch commissioned the statues at a cost of $850,000. The mayor says he doesn't view the statues as religious symbols, claiming that they are longtime symbols of support for police officers and firefighters. The mayor has since proposed the creation of a public art commission to review future public art installations. However, there was no public input on the Michael and Florian statues. The new public safety complex is set to open in October. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch exploring the idea of creating a new city-owned multi-level building that would house the Adams Presidential Center, a performing arts center, a cultural center, and some civic space. The city is seeking requests for qualifications from companies to design the new space. Koch says the idea is still in the conceptual phase.
I know that the Performing Arts Center is something the public wants. That's come up several times during the course of our surveys and discussions over the years with Quincy 400. And I also know that there's a lot of folks that have a great interest in the APC, the Adams Presidential Center, which would be tremendous for the city, for the region, and certainly for the state. So, so this is really the first logical step to get to a point where we can make some decisions.
Companies have until June 6th to submit their proposals. Koch says that a committee will then narrow down the choices to 3 and submit them to him for approval. No cost has been assigned to this project. No location has been determined for the building. A previous plan to create a multi-level performing arts center and residential complex in Quincy Center has been canceled. Well, next year's Quincy city budget has been formally approved. The City Council last week unanimously approved the $455.8 million spending plan without making a single cut. Ward 6 City Councilor William Harris made the final motion to approve.
I'd like to, for the 2025-053, the fiscal year 26 general fund budget of $455,835,575.32. I'd like to make a positive recommendation, and it'll remain in committee until Monday.
So we got a motion to approve general fund. On the motion, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no, and the ayes have it.
That new budget represents an 8.6% increase, or about $16 million over the current year's spending plan. Budget includes funding for 20 new firefighters, 4 patrol officers, and a $4.6 million increase in the school budget. $90,000 is earmarked for a new fraud prevention coordinator for the Council on Aging. Mayor Thomas Koch says the budget will also require a modest increase in property taxes later this year. That new budget takes effect July 1st. Hundreds of spectators lined the route of this year's annual Memorial Day Parade here in Quincy this past Monday. Veterans groups, civic organizations, police and fire department color guards, and the Quincy North Quincy Marching Band all participated in the parade from Quincy Avenue to the Church of Presidents for a wreath-laying ceremony, and then to the Veterans section at Mount Wollaston Cemetery. The keynote speaker this year, the Honorable Jeffrey Clifford, who was raised in Quincy, said city leaders inspired him to pursue service in the Marine Corps.
And I saw many examples of patriotism and love of God and country in this very city. And they influenced me, and I've carried them with me my entire life. Some of the examples include the mayors in this city. Mayor McIntyre, who was a Marine who served in the Korean War and was decorated for valor with a Bronze Star with Combat Distinguishing Device. Mayor Arthur Tobin, who was another example, who served in the Marine Corps during the Korean War. And Mayor Thomas Koch, whose son served honorably in the United States Marine Corps. And quite frankly, I think having your son or daughter go off and serve this country is an even tougher sacrifice than going yourself. So I thank all of them for their example, among the many that I saw here in Quincy that inspired me to serve when I came of age.
Clifford spoke of losing 3 comrades in an IED attack in Fallujah, Iraq. He was decorated for valor with a Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal and was awarded for capturing 3 armed insurgents. Clifford went on to pursue a law degree and served in both the Norfolk and Suffolk County District Attorney's offices. Visitors to the historic Dorothy Quincy Homestead here in Quincy can now take a little bit of a rest on 2 new benches built by students in the Quincy High School carpentry program. Recently, the Colonial Dames of Massachusetts, who run the homestead, commissioned the students to build the benches to be placed right at the entrance to the homestead. So the students named in that special video were Malcolm McMorrow, also Brian Tam, Devin McPartlin, Caden Chaplin, and Nick Heim, along with their instructor, Robert Burke. They built, delivered, and installed the benches earlier this month. Well, a veteran nurse at the Norfolk County Sheriff's Office being credited for quickly responding to an urgent call for help from a correctional officer who was being assaulted by an inmate at the Dedham Jail. Nurse Edward Reardon was awarded meritorious recognition at the annual Excellence in Corrections Awards ceremony held in Worcester. Reardon was praised for intervening in a fight last December where an officer was being attacked during an overnight shift. Reardon positioned himself between that injured officer and the attacker until help arrived. Reardon was honored by Secretary of Public Safety and Security Terrence Reedy and Norfolk County Sheriff Pat McDermott. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, the Schiller Institute Chorus has another concert coming up in Quincy soon. We will get all the details next. Welcome back. The Schiller Institute Chorus has a concert of hope coming up on Sunday, June 8th at 3 p.m. at Christ Church on Quincy Avenue in Quincy. And I was so happy to meet conductor Jen Pearl virtually back in November. She's here in person now to tell us more about the chorus and about this concert and about how you might be able to get involved. Jen, great to meet you in person.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So as I mentioned, I think it was back in November we spoke virtually for the first time. And the chorus, though, itself has been around for a while now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about it.
Absolutely. Well, we actually have a bigger chorus in New York, the Schiller Institute New York Chorus, and then we are kind of an arm of that chorus here in Quincy. I would say we've been around for probably about 7 or 8 years, something like that in Quincy. We were in other areas, and then we kind of settled here in Quincy the last few years.
And there are Schiller Institute choruses around the country, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about that, the Institute, first of all,
Sure.
and how the chorus concept developed.
Sure. The Schiller Institute's been around for about 40 years. Yeah. It was established by Helga Zepp LaRouche, and the intention is to bring out kind of celebrate and bring out the best of each culture around the world and kind of look for both the diversity and also the unity of those cultures. And classical music and folk music, traditional music is kind of the reflection of that. And it's actually very beautiful. We try to incorporate, both traditional and classical music into our concerts, and the responses we often get is how unified these things are, even though they're from different language, cultures, and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's our intention.
Sure.
Yeah.
Music and food, right? Two of the most common denominators in human history.
Yes.
So it's great to have that here in Quincy as well. The Institute itself, what is its mission, its goal?
The mission is promoting economic development, that nations move away from sort of the financial control by the international financial cartels and things like that, and move towards sovereign nations working together. And so to do that, you also need to understand the different cultures and how they come together and interact.
Yeah, so a think tank, would that be a fair description?
Yeah, you could say that, yeah,
Okay.
think tank, yeah.
Okay, based in New York?
Based in New York. In fact,
Okay.
we just had an international conference this past weekend in the New York area, and one of our panels was on culture, the diversity of cultures. And it was quite beautiful. There was a discussion about classical culture. We also had some Persian musicians performing on the, I forget the name of the instrument, but very beautiful enchanting music. We had Chinese folk songs performed by some beautiful Chinese singers. Then they turned around and sang Mozart.
Wow.
So it was really,
Okay.
yeah, it was really wonderful.
Yeah. Now the chorus itself, how did you become involved in the chorus?
Well, I've been part of the Schiller Institute for a long time,
Okay.
and a big, since I have a kind of a singing background and a
Yes.
classical music background, I'm a voice teacher, I just kind of took up the helm to start the chorus here.
Okay.
So I've been, kind of part of it for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what is its current state here in Quincy? What's the chorus consist of?
We are a community chorus.
Yes.
We are open to everybody, and you don't have to have any previous singing experience, because one of the things we're really committed to is vocal training.
Okay.
So we do take the time every week to actually work with people on their voices, because that's sometimes a little bit what people are nervous about, that they've never sung before.
Very self-conscious, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
very personal singing.
Yes.
But we are, yes, a community chorus. We have people of all ages, all backgrounds, all experiences. We have some people who have sung quite a bit before, and then those who have never
Really?
sung before.
How many members, even just roughly?
I would say like maybe around 25,
Okay.
something like that.
All
So
right.
we're definitely growing. We stuck through COVID, having Zoom rehearsals, but
Yeah.
we definitely have grown since then.
Yes, yes. And age, demographics, what would you say is the makeup?
I would say it's a mix. I mean, I'm
Okay.
happy to say that we do have some younger people.
Yeah.
That's some of the challenge with community choruses, is appealing to the younger generation, and I think the repertoire has a lot to do with that. I think the spirituals, some of the traditional music, but also we've had a couple of people tell us they're looking for choruses that sing classical music.
Really?
Yeah.
Young people?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think actually this generation, the younger generation, there is actually a newfound audience, I think, for classical music.
Interesting.
I really do. And I
Okay.
think part of that is the ability for artists to connect more directly to young people through social media and things like that. People see that it's more human
I
than
see.
maybe it has been in the past.
Okay. Well, I'm told that Beethoven was a real rebel, really outspoken in his day, so
Yes.
that probably is appealing as
Yes,
well. for
absolutely.
Folks who do a little bit of exploring.
Yes, yes.
Men and women, what would you say is the ratio?
We definitely have more women than men.
Okay.
We definitely want to recruit more basses and tenors.
Okay.
So if you're
All right.
out there,
Yes. My next question, Jen, how does one become a member of the Schiller Institute Chorus?
you can just show up at our first rehearsal in the fall, or you can
Okay.
contact us on the email address that I think
Yeah, we'll put that
you're
up
going to
for you.
post.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just reach out, but also we're going to be starting up again in the fall, and people can come on September 12th, we're going to start up again.
September 12th,
Yes.
right at Christ Church?
Yes, right at Christ Church.
Okay. And is that where the performances are held as well?
That's where we've been doing our performances, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
The next one is coming up.
Yes.
It's the Schiller Institute Chorus and Friends
Yes.
spring concert, Songs of Hope, featuring American composers of classical music and African American spirituals. So there's a wine
Yes.
dichotomy there. Sunday, June 8th at 3 p.m. at Christ Church. Tell me all
Yes.
about it.
Well, this is a really exciting program. It's actually expanded even since we made that flyer.
Oh, okay, good, good. We've got the latest news then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are going to have, yes, music of Bach, Haydn, and Mendelssohn. And then all kind of pieces that are very, they really do represent this idea of hope, optimism. They're sort of gentle, beautiful a cappella. A lot of them are a cappella, so no instruments. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're going to have a huge number of African American spirituals. This has been a big commitment by the Schiller Institute to preserve the African American spiritual as the real American classical music. As the American art song, you could even say, in a certain way.
American classical music.
American
Interesting.
classical music,
Okay.
yeah. So we're going to have a wonderful baritone, Juan Suarez, who is a New York and Boston-based baritone. Will be performing 3 selections of Harry Burleigh's spirituals, which are absolutely beautiful and probably familiar to many people.
Okay.
And then the chorus is going to perform a few very rousing spirituals
okay.
that I think will get some people will be excited about.
Up on their feet clapping?
Yes, up on their feet.
Okay, all right.
And then we're going to have some, we're going to feature a female American composer, Amy Beach, who actually was born in New Hampshire, so she's a New Englander. She was born in the mid-1800s, and she died around World War II. And she wrote some beautiful, she was actually quite prolific. She debuted in the Boston Concert Hall at the age of 16.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So we're Michelle Aaron, a soprano friend from New York, will be performing a song cycle of Amy Beach. And the nice thing is it's in English because it's American, so people
very
will
good.
understand. And then we're going to do a short choral piece as well by her. And then there's some other things, some Spanish pieces as well.
Wow.
From a Colombian soprano. Oh, and one thing I wanted to
Yeah.
bring up that we'll be featuring is the Goin' Home piece by Dvorak. This was actually based on Antonin Dvorak's symphony, the New World Symphony, which was his 9th symphony, which he wrote after he came to America from the at the time, the Czechoslovakia, and he was inspired by songs of African American and Native American songs, and he incorporated those songs into this symphony. His student, William Arms Fisher, then took the melody of Goin' Home and added poetry to it,
Oh.
and that became a choral piece.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I think it'll be a very familiar melody to folks, and the poetry is beautiful. It's about, what it means to go home, whether that means, moving on to heaven, dying, or going to freedom. There's a metaphor there. So we're going to be, the chorus will be performing that as well.
Okay. All right. Now, is there kind of a narration, Jen, for these pieces, to explain what you're talking about right now?
Yes, we try to do that.
Okay.
We try to make kind of a historical context for
Yes,
things.
yeah.
We're also going to have because we like to incorporate poetry, we're
Yep.
going to have a couple of Shakespeare sonnets recited as well, which are related to the hope theme.
Okay. How long is the performance?
I think it's about an hour.
Wow, that's a packed hour.
I know.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll go over a little, but I think that's about what it is. And then we like to have a reception afterwards so folks can, talk and discuss and meet the artists. We really love having that as part of the, part of the afternoon.
Right at the church.
Yes, right
Okay.
at the church right
Now,
after.
this is free.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are you able to do that? I mean,
Well, we are very, we basically have raised some funds from the community,
Okay.
enough to pay the professional artists that are coming in and
Yes.
tune the piano and
Yes.
do all the things.
yes,
But
right.
that's basically it. We basically just raise the funds from the community, and we're extremely low budget, but we manage.
Okay. So you'll be wearing a lot of hats, right?
Yes, we're wearing a lot
In
of
addition
hats.
to being a soprano, by the way, and then a professional voice
Yes.
instructor, you're probably moving tables and chairs around, right?
Yes, exactly. And members of our chorus have been extremely wonderful in terms of going out and asking, family and others to support what we're doing.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And that's where the support comes from.
Yeah. Any other concerts planned for Quincy later this year?
We like to do. We don't have anything planned. We usually like to do something around in November, around the anniversary of the JFK assassination. We usually try to do a memorial concert every year.
Which is when we talked last.
Right,
actually.
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But we don't have it planned out yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, rehearsals are how often?
Rehearsals are every Friday.
Okay.
They go about an hour and a half. We've extended them a little longer. Every Friday, we really stick with that. We encourage folks to be as consistent as you can, because
Yeah.
obviously that's how you get. But we also try to provide practice tapes and stuff so that during the weeks people can practice.
Okay. Is there a cost to be a member of the chorus?
The only thing is pitching in to help pay for the room.
Cost of your time.
The room. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Okay. So it
So-
really is a labor of love.
It's a labor. It definitely is.
and a
Yes.
passion, yeah.
Absolutely.
For folks who might be interested and have some questions and are a little unsure, I mean, they like to sing, but they're not sure if they can. What's your advice to them?
Come and try it out.
Yeah.
The thing about singing in a chorus is that you're surrounded by people, so you're part of a bigger mission than just yourself.
Right.
So I think it's a little bit more relaxing to be part of a section as opposed to doing karaoke.
Being
or
in the
something.
spotlight,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And also, I think, our chorus, we're unique in the sense that we have a real mission to intervene into the culture. We're not just entertainment. Music is more than just entertainment.
Right.
It plays a real role in society, and I think that the more people have a sense of that, the more they, I think, can feel part of it.
Yeah. Are the members Quincy residents, or is there a good mix, would you say?
It's a good mix, but
Yeah.
I would say mostly Braintree, Quincy,
So-
but we have some who travel a little further.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the closest one in our area? Is
Yes.
it here in Quincy?
The next one would be in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good. And what is your kind of goal for membership? What would you like it to be at?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to be able to do, have 60
Wow.
people in the chorus and be able
Okay.
to do big works like Brahms Requiem and things like that.
Yes, all
But,
right.
we'll get there.
Okay, little baby steps, right?
That's right. That's right.
You mentioned there's a pianist and accompanist, right? So
Yes.
Is there other instruments as well?
We sometimes do. In this particular concert, no. We have a wonderful collaborative pianist and vocal coach, Mi-Jin Choi, who is a local amazing pianist who also works with singers and has a great background. She'll be accompanying our soloists as well,
Okay.
and our chorus.
All right. So do you to be a member of the chorus, Jen, do you have to have that mindset of what the mission is, or can anybody kind of
I
join
think
it?
anybody can join it,
Okay.
and then people have different levels of interest in that
Yeah.
kind of discussion or idea. I think the main thing is the repertoire. I think
Okay.
that's really what attracts people. Is just this. We have a very strong commitment to classical music
Mm-hmm.
and spirituals and traditional. We kind of don't do like popular music and
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, and so folks are looking for that, so they can join us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tell me about your audience. Who are your folks that come into your groupies, if you will?
Yeah.
that come and watch. Yeah.
Well, a lot of our chorus members have been pretty amazing in terms of building an audience among their friends and family. We try to do a lot around downtown. We put flyers up, and we do try to do a lot of outreach.
Sure.
One thing we've done is gone to various events in Quincy, especially ones that tend to be music events, because we figure that's an audience that will be interested.
There's a
and
lot
just
of
do the
them.
old-fashioned flyer,
Yep.
And I would say, and then some members from the church come
Oh, okay,
too.
sure.
So I think it's a wide mix
Yeah.
of people.
What kind of is the feeling you'd like folks to take away from one of your performances? What is it you hope that they get out of it?
I think optimism.
Yeah.
I think
It's right
hope-
in the name of the next concert, right? Songs
yes,
of Hope. Yeah.
Yes. I think optimism. I think when you hear really beautiful classical music or spirituals, you get this sense of real joy in being human, and that there's a universality that we all share. So I think that if folks can kind of be uplifted, that's the goal.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You probably share that feedback in the reception
Yes.
afterwards, right?
Yes, and that's really important too, to get the audience feedback and see what they think.
Sure.
See what, especially in terms of when we go through the history. But
Yes.
also try to give some education to folks too,
All right, anything else you'd like to share right now?
I don't think so.
Okay. Again, it is the Schiller Institute Chorus and Friends. Who's the Friends, by the way?
Oh, those would be the soloists that
Oh,
we
okay.
invited, yeah.
Spring concert, Songs of Hope. This is Sunday, June 8, 3 p.m., Christ Church on Quincy Avenue. Free, but donations are welcome, I'm
Yes.
sure, and appreciated, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Jen, thank you so much. Great to speak with you, and hopefully we'll get some good information out about the chorus and about the upcoming show.
Great, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Just enough time. Check the forecast for you for the rest of the day. Today, some hazy sunshine. There's a slight chance of a shower. It's kind of summer-like, actually, kind of muggy with temperatures in the mid-70s this afternoon. A better chance for a shower late tonight. Lows drop off into the upper 50s. And, of course, our rainy Saturday trend continues tomorrow with scattered showers and storms, mainly in the morning. Might see some clearing later tomorrow. The high around 70 degrees. Much nicer for June 1st on Sunday. Sun and clouds mid-60s, and really nice on Monday with highs in the low 70s. Thanks again to Jen Pearl from joining us from
Thank
the
you.
Schiller Institute course. I'm not going to ask you to sing anything. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Monday here in the show, Arc of the South Shore coming back to talk about their summer soiree. Meantime, please check our website. It's qatv.org. You'll find all of our latest programs. There's news, information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.